Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Jonathan Isaac has been electric on the defensive end this season, and he's already putting together an all-NBA defensive team type season. So in today's episode of Mike Talk Sports, we're going to be breaking down some of the key metrics and overall the eye test on Jonathan Isaac's defense of his career, and specifically this season, in order to paint the picture of what a Jonathan Isaac season can look like on the defensive side if he stays healthy. In the 9 games Jonathan Isaac has appeared in for the Orlando Magic this season, they are currently 6-3, and he has a plus minus of plus 20. There has been 2 games this season in which Jonathan Isaac did not play in, and the Magic's defense got absolutely gashed, and they ended up losing both of those games by double digits. Now, it has been a very small sample size, and he's not playing that many minutes per game this season, as we'll get into later on in this video, but it really is a part of the trend at this point with Jonathan Isaac of him playing incredible defense. So per 36-minute stats this season, he's averaging 3.9 blocks per game and 2.5 steals per game. That's defensive player of the year type numbers. Also, Orlando is 9.4 points per 100 possessions better on the defensive end when Jonathan Isaac is on the floor this season. Not only this, but opponents' effective field goal percentage drops 4.8%, which is a significant margin in the NBA when being guarded by Jonathan. And despite being listed at power forward, he's had a good amount of reps at center this season, as Wendell Carter Jr. is dealing with a hand injury, and he's really stepped into that defensive center role very nicely. Jonathan Isaac is one of the more rare players in NBA history that has that 3-5 switchability, not only being able to bang down low with centers, but he also has the agility and lateral quickness necessary to keep up with some of the quicker threes in the NBA on the perimeter. And when you combine his high basketball defensive IQ with his wingspan and frame at 6'10.5" with a 7'1" wingspan, it is no question why it is so difficult to shoot over Jonathan Isaac, or overall why it is so difficult to score on Jonathan Isaac. Now, here's the caveat with everything I just said. He's only averaging 13 minutes per game this season, and of course this is because of 2 significant reasons that I will dive into in this video. 1, it's his offense, and 2, of course, it's the injury concerns. Let's dive into some of the injury concerns first. Jonathan Isaac has genuinely had some of the worst injury luck in the history of the NBA, as he's played fewer than 20 total games since 2019 in the 2020 season, which is honestly insane, and he more or less has missed the last 3 seasons in a row, with an exception to 11 games last season in which he appeared in. And even though he's been in the NBA for a while at this point, he's only had 1 healthy season, which came all the way back in 2018, in which he played 75 games. He's just been hampered with lower body injuries, such as an ACL, the meniscus injury, some of the hamstring injuries he's had as well. And Orlando is clearly just easing him back into play, as they are terrified that he's going to get injured at this point. It's just such a common theme with his career, unfortunately. But there's also another reason why he hasn't played too much this season, and it is the offense. This season, he's only averaging 32% from the field, which is obviously abysmal, and he's averaging 24% from 3, which is also horrible. And he really does need to figure out the offensive part of his game. And do I ever expect Jonathan Isaac to be an average or an above average scorer at the NBA level? No, I don't. But if he can get to a slightly below league average level and he can prove to be healthy, he's going to be a guy that gets significant minutes. And let me tell you guys why I'm confident he can do so if he can stay healthy. So from 2019 to 2020, he had his largest stretch of play with 109 games, and in an 109 game sample size, which is obviously significant, he averaged 27 minutes per game, and he averaged 44% from the field, which is honestly a perfect mark for Jonathan Isaac. It's slightly below league average, but it's perfect for such a high level defender, and he also averaged 33% from three. Again, also not great, but it is justifiable to have him out there with these shooting splits if he's playing such high level defense. When you watch Jonathan Isaac play defense, it really does remind me of Anthony Davis in the sense that they are such high level defenders and they are such high IQ and high effort defenders to the point where it's a bit of a detriment to them in the sense that they are constantly diving for loose balls and hitting the ground because of their incredible shot contestability, especially around the rim. And of course, at the NBA level, if you're consistently contesting around the rim, you are going to get banged up to a significant degree. And already this season, there's been a couple of close calls with Jonathan Isaac in terms of getting injured because of how often he does hit the deck. Something that really does stand out about Jonathan Isaac's defensive game, though, is the verticality in which he contests with. Sometimes he does have some foul trouble, but overall, he's done such a good job in his career at contesting with verticality rather than contesting with this kind of horizontal pressure, which causes a lot of foul calls. And when someone backs him down in the post, as you can see in this video, he's done this to Giannis Antetokounmpo multiple times. He does a really nice job at sneakily poking the ball free. To sum up Jonathan Isaac on defense, he more or less is what Kevin Durant is on offense, but on the defensive side with that incredible frame that seems unstoppable at times. So to end the video, I obviously can't predict the health of Jonathan Isaac going forward, but if he can somewhat figure out his three-point shot, shooting around 34% from three, and he could somewhat figure out that field goal percentage as well, being an efficient rim runner from two, and overall shooting about 43% from the field, he's going to start to get 25, 26, 27 minutes per game, and he's not even that guy who needs 35, 36 minutes per game to have a significant impact on the defensive end. Rather, he absolutely has the rare ability to impact the game on a high level on the defensive end, not even playing that many minutes per game, as he's already done this season in just 13 minutes per game. Thanks for watching today's episode of Mike Talk Sports. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Jonathan Isaac, and do you agree with my take that if he can somewhat figure out the offensive game and prove to be a healthy player, that he's an all-NBA defensive team caliber guy? If you enjoyed today's episode of Mike Talk Sports, I really appreciate it, guys. Smack that like and hit subscribe.